If you're trying to get a fat ass, the only exercises you need are hip thrusts, squats, RDLs, and reverse lunges. And you have to eat.
I love the principle of this post. Sticking to your basics to grow your glutes. That's often where all the gains are made in any muscle group, really. Sticking to the basics, training with good form, being consistent, eating in a surplus if you want to build muscle, and good things will happen over time. But I want to take this video even further, and instead of boxing us into these 4 different exercises, I want to open our mind up to movement patterns over exercises. So instead of saying hip thrust is a must-do exercise, let's look at the bridge movement pattern as a must for glute growth and glute training. And then we can open ourselves up to things like the CAS glute bridge, constant tension hip thrust. We can do a dead stop hip thrust. We can do a B stance hip thrust. We can do a decline glute bridge. We can do a single leg glute bridge. We can do a single leg hip thrust without weight. Instead of just thinking we have to do hip thrust, there's so many other options we can do. Same thing with squats. Instead of looking at squats as a must-do exercise, they're a great exercise, but they're not essential. Let's look at the squat movement pattern, which lunges fall into, which split squats fall into, and obviously the squats. But also we have things like the leg press, which are the same movement pattern. So now we have front foot elevated, rear foot elevated split squats, Bulgarian split squats, we have step ups, we have lunges, we have reverse lunges, we have deficit reverse lunges, we have drop lunges. We have walking lunges, we have the squat, we have the low bar squat, we have the safety squat, we have the trap bar squat, we have the quad squat. Now, instead of looking at one exercise, we have a million different options. And lastly, with the RDLs, they are an amazing exercise. But let's look at the hip hinge pattern instead. Now we have things like the 45-degree back extension, the horizontal back extension, trap bar deadlifts, floating deadlifts, rack pulls, barbell Romanian deadlifts, dumbbell Romanian deadlifts, single leg deadlifts. There's literally so many options. We don't have to box ourselves into exercises. So instead of thinking as these are the must-do exercises, let's look at movement patterns. And these are the must-do movement patterns to grow our glutes. And any other muscle group that you want to focus on. Think movement patterns. You don't need to think specific exercises.